So today we'll be talking about for loops today. We'll be talking a little bit. We've seen for loops in list comprehensions, but we'll be taking the for loops out of the list comprehension and dealing with the for loops by themselves. But before we do that, let's do a bit of recap. So here is a simple question where we are supposed to write a function. This is the function, and find the images of this function of the values here using this function. So you're supposed to find the images of these values, that is between 0 and 10, under the function here. And we are asked that what is the solution of the function where f of x is equal to 0, basically the roots of the function. So as you all know, we can solve this by using list comprehension. So this could be something like this. So the range here, let me zoom in a bit. So the range here corresponds to the x values that we have. So from 0 to 10, and then the function is sorry, it's supposed to be x f of x squared plus f of x plus 1. So this is the function corresponding to the function that we have, and we use the for loop to loop over the values in the range and to use each value as x in the function. So if you run this, you will get the images of the function of the values under this function. We can go ahead and keep it that way, or you can store it in a variable as well, and then you save that. So the next thing is to find the roots of this equation. We've already written the quadratic equation in our script file, so I'm just going to import that. I'll need a system module to be able to locate where it is. I'm going to import the system module. Then I'll use the path function in the system module to append the location. So I can navigate to where the script module is, and then copy the path. Then I'll paste it here. And since we are just looking for the folder in which the script or the module is located, we would remove the module's name and just keep the folder location. Okay, so now we can import the script. Since now Python knows where it is, so we can now import the script and then use the quad function in the script to find the roots of this equation. So it's 4, 4, and 1. If you run that, we will get the sorry, it's not quant, it's quad. Again. So we have the root to be -4 and -4, so we have a repeated root. So this is just a recap of what we've done in the previous lectures. So now there is a problem that we have. So previously I didn't know there was a product function in the math module. So suppose you have a list that has these numbers 2, 3, and 4, and we wanted to find the product of these numbers, or the product of any number in any list. We didn't have any function for finding product, but I've heard that they've updated the math module, so now the math module has a prod function that can take a list and then find the product of the values in that list. But we need to understand how to write our own function. So this lecture is about writing our own prod function using for loops. So suppose we have this list. So I'm going to re-attach the list again. With the knowledge that you have up to this point, how will somebody find the product of the values in this list? So somebody can say that we can do this. So basically the person is indexing each value in the list and then multiplying them. So this works. We still get the 24 that we got before. But what happens if the values that we have is, let's say, 100? You can't be indexing each one by one. That will just take forever. So we have to learn how to use for loops for this. Basically, what a for loop does is to do repeated stuff. So before we do that, let's retrack a bit and do something simple. Suppose we wanted to print uh, something 100 times or 10 times. So suppose we wanted to print, let's say, print coffee here. We want to print coffee 10 times. How do we do that? You can do that using a for loop. So you can say for I in range. So since we want to print the name 10 times, we need a range that has 10 values in it. So let's say 10. So this is from 0 to 9, which is 10. So we can say print um, coffee. So what this does is it is going to print this statement 10 times. So for each value in the range, the print statement is going to execute. We are not really using the I for anything. We are just using, since the for loop needs the variable name for each value in the range, that's why you are putting the I there. So for each variable in this range, we are going to print the coffee 10 times. So instead of writing the print statement 10 times ourselves, we could have used the for loop to do that easily. So that's what we have here. Supposing we wanted to print counting numbers from 1 to 10, we could have done the same thing um, using the for loop. So you can say for I in range of, since counting numbers, you can't start from 0. We need to input the first value, then the last value. You can say print I. So in this case, we are using the I value. So for each value in this range, we are printing all the values. So the first time this loop runs, the value will be 1. So we are printing 1. The next time it will be 2. We'll print the 2. Then it follows until we reach the last value, which will be 10. So we basically just took the for loop that we'll be using inside uh, the list comprehension. We took it out and then we can use that to wrap around statements and do them repeatedly for a number of times. Is that okay? Okay. Now, we are coming back to our problem. We need to find the product of values in the list. So you've learned that we can print all the values in this list using a for loop. So for I in range of, so this one, the values here, there are 3 of them. There are 3 values here, so you can put 3, and so you can print, um, so for I in the range, we want to print all the values in this list, not in the range. So what do we do? This range value here starts from 0 to 2. And we know that the index values of this also start from 0. So this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. To index the values, all you have to do is to put I here. So the first value in this list is 2, which is at the index of 0. And the first time this for loop run, the I will take a value of 0. So that is how come we have in the next one it will be 1, the next one it will be 2. So those are the indexes of these values here. If you run this, you will have the values printed out. Okay. Another thing that you might need is that sometimes the values in the list you don't know, or the number of values in the list you don't know. you know that there's a function that gives us the number of values in a list, which is the length function. So instead of passing the value yourself, you can use the length function here and then pass the list. So this len x function will return the number of values in this list. So this is another trick you can use. Now the what follows is, how do we multiply the values? How do we multiply each of the individual values? We know how to print the individual values, but how do we multiply them? So say that we have, let's have a variable called product and it's equal to 1. So instead of printing 1, let's say that we multiply product by each of the values that we have. So if you do this, we'll still get the same thing because product is 1. So 1 times whatever value you have in the list will still be the same thing. What happens if we do this? So here, if I run this code right now, you see that we don't get any output. So what this is doing is that I'm going to print just the product function, the product variable, and let's see the value that we'll get. So it's 24. But why does this work? Why does equating product to product times each of the values in the list work? There is a visualization that I use, and I'm going to use it to explain to you why this works, and you understand what's where all this is coming from. So this is the link. It's called Python Twitter, and I'm going to open it. I'll copy the code and I'll paste it inside there. So click on visualize, and when it runs, okay. So um, the red um, the red arrow here tells you where the interpreter is, the Python interpreter is starting from. So you know Python runs from top to bottom. So first, when we start the code, Python will run the first line that we have here. So you see that it has assigned the variable x to this list, and the list has values 2, 3, and 4 in it. Then the next line, when it runs the next line, we have a variable called prod, whose value is 1. So we have two variables in our system now. One is a list and one is just an integer. Then the first time the for loop runs, I will have a value of 0 because the range here is range of 3. So it has the values of 0, 1, and 2. So the first time the for loop runs, I will have a value of 0. That's what we have here. Then the prod statement that we have here is going to multiply 1 because prod is 1. It will multiply 1 by the first value in the list. So the first value in the list, which we have indexed here, is 2. So when it does that, the value of prod will be updated to 2, as you are seeing here. So it's basically 1 times 2, which will still be 2. Then the next time the for loop runs again, I will now be 1, right? And prod is still 2. So now that prod is 2, we'll now multiply the value of prod, which is
Yes,
2.
so please, I wanted to ask a question. Why is it that when the first end value in the list that Python assigns 0 to, which is the xi, which is 0, when you multiply it by the x, which is the end value in the list, the first value, which is 2, why did Python give us 2? Because I know 2 times 0 should give us 0.
No, you are missing something. This is x. What you are doing here is indexing. So when you say x index 0, you are looking for the value and the index of 0, right?
So say the global frame that I want to understand the visualization. The
Okay, so let
global
me
frame that
let me
you're
restart.
using.
Let me restart. Okay. So do you understand to this point?
Yes.
So
Python is assigning X to the list,
yes.
which is 2, 3, and 4.
So in this point,
um, the you've assigned prod to a variable, an integer, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Then the for loop, we have I being assigned to 0, right?
Yeah, so say this my where my problem is.
Yeah. So do you know why it's I is 0?
Is it using the indexing,
I got a message.
Latifa?
Okay. So the range len of x, when we print this out, we'll have values 0, 1, and 2, right? Or you don't
Yes,
believe?
please. Yes, please.
Okay. So let me just print this out so that you see. So range of the length of x. So length of x is basically going to be 3. So you're just finding the range of 3. So range of 3 will just be put this inside the list so that we can see the values. So this is 0. So this entire thing here, range length of x, is just a list of 0, 1, and 2. This thing here
Yes,
is 0, 1, and 2. Okay.
yes, yeah.
All right. So the first time the follow runs, I will be assigned to the first value in this list, which is 0. Right. That's why I'm saying
Yes, please.
for I in range. So for the first value in this range, we'll assign I to that value, which is 0.
Sir, please, I want to be because the list that you assigned X to is 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, it's 2,
So
3, and 4.
the length is it the index of the list?
The length,
No, the length gives you like the
the number
total,
of values in the list.
yeah, the
Yeah.
total attributes in the list.
Yeah.
So the zero that I see is it the index of the first element in the list?
Okay. So the 0 that I'm having here, this 0 here, you said you understood why we have 0, 1, and 2, right?
Yes, because it's that's the position of the first value in the list.
Don't be thinking about that for now. All that this thing is doing here is basically generating the index for the values in this list.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So you understand that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So here I is corresponding to the first index of the first value in this list.
Okay, so the I0 is the index.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I think that's the question Steph was trying to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yes,
the
she just
first,
wanted to know if the zero corresponds to the first.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it does. The
Yeah.
first value corresponds to the 0, then 1, then 2.
Okay.
Because like I
Thank you.
said, Python counts from 0. So it's
Yeah.
0, 1, and
Because
2.
I was kind of confused when you said that I is a variable, like as in an integer. So if you are to multiply an integer with two, you're supposed to get zero. So I was kind of
Confused.
confused with the visualization. Yes,
Okay,
please.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So with that, then we can multiply the value. Sorry, let's run this, and then you see. So the value of prod was 1. So now we are multiplying the value of prod with the first value in the which is 2. So now the prod's value will now be updated to 2. Then the for loop runs again, and then I will now correspond to 1, which is the index of 3. And then if you index the value, this entire thing here will now be 3. So now we are multiplying the value of 3 with the updated value of prod, which is 2. And then we'll get 6. Then it goes on until the list is exhausted. And then we finally print the value of prod, which is 24. Is that fine? Or I should go over it again?
yes, please.
Okay. So the challenge is we need a way to multiply each of the individual values in this list. So you could go by saying x0 times x1 times x2. So now that you've learned for loops, how do you use for loop for something like this? So we could update this by saying for I in for x, whatever it is, I'm just using I for now, in a range of, because the for loop runs for some number of time and we want to run the for loop 3 times, we are going to use the range value, and then we will just use the len if we don't want to key in um, the number of values ourselves. So we are just going to use the len function which will return the number of values. Then the range of that value will just be 0, 1, 2, as we know. Then how do we key in this inside our for loop? So since we are multiplying, we need a variable to hold the product. So that is why we are assigning a product variable, and we are assigning it to 1. 1 times anything is the same thing. That is why we are assigning 1 as the variable that we'll use. If it is 0, we can't use 0 because 0 times anything will just be 0. But if we keep 1 inside this product function, then if we multiply anything with this product, we will get our value. So we are going to say prod equals, so the product um, uh, variable that we have is 1. We are going to multiply the product times the value in this list. Why is this updated? So the value here is 1 times the first value in the list, which is 2. When it finds that value, it saves it updates the prod variable with the new value that we have. So that will be for the first loop. The next time it runs, the updated value will multiply by the next value in the list. It does that until the list is finished. Another way you can think of this is first we assign prod equals 1. So the first time the for loop runs, we will multiply 1 times 2 because prod is 1 and then the first value in the list is 2. Next, we are going to multiply the value of prod that we know, which is 1 times 2, by the next value in the list, which is going to be 3. And then the same thing continues to be 4. And then we stop since the range is exhausted.
So please, I wanted us to solve the first question in the slides, which talks about finding the product of the counting numbers between 10 and 30.
Right, assume.
There is a there is an exercise like that.
Yes, I think after we found the products between the lists 2, 3, and 4.
Uh, no, I don't think so.
The please, can you can you go a bit higher to yes. So what about finding? Sorry, before that,
Yeah.
what about finding just on right on top after the for loop statement in the text? What's the first bullet point? What about finding the product of the counting numbers between 10 and
Oh, okay,
30?
okay, okay. Oh, I think I skipped that. I don't know why. Wow. Okay, let's do that. So, what about finding the product of value between 10 and 30? Okay. So, now that you understand finding products, we can do that. Yes. So, let's try and do that. Let me update the notebook. Thank you. I actually forgot about it. But the prod function you wrote, it took me a while to for me to even understand it.
Mm,
Okay. these days I am occupied. I'm running another course which is a bit involving, so I keep getting emails. Sorry about that. Okay. So first, let's see what we want. So we need the value. We need the product of value between 10 and 30. So again, we can just have a variable that will keep the product, and then
Mm.
we need the range of. I have my Gemini 10 on, so you keep seeing the code completions. The sorry, it's not me who is typing, it's Gemini. So for I in the range of 10 and 30. So like always, you know that the last value is exclusive. So you see that 30 will not be part of our range.
Yeah. So I think we're supposed to start from 11.
Yeah. No.
I said between.
Yeah. Okay. Between. Okay. Between. That means that 30 should not be part.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Right. So with this, then we can find uh, the products of the values in there.
Yes, please.
Do you know why this works? It's a bit different from what we have here.
Wow. Say, I use the same thing, but I don't know why it's not working.
Are you sure?
Yes, yes. So I had to like think of a different code to use. Okay.
Probably it was maybe you changed something.
So I used
If only I knew how it was, I would
so I
have.
used a code like I assigned the variable v for x in range 11 to 30, and then I printed it and I had the exact range that I wanted. And then I used the for loop, which is for x in range len of the v, which is that list.
Mm.
And then I assigned a product to one, and then the product times the x, which is the I in that len of
Wait. Did you do this? Did you put the product inside a for loop?
yes, I did.
Yeah. So I think that is where you have the problem. The for loop, how the for loop works is that you see the entire code under this for loop. When this code runs, the for loop goes back to start again. So when it reaches this point, the prod will now be updated to 1 again. Every time the for loop starts, prod will be updated to 1.
Yeah, so say I tried taking it from the for loop, and then I did that.
And
I
still,
had yes, please.
if only I knew how it was when you did it.
Yeah, so say please, if I could share my
Yeah,
screen for
yeah,
some
yeah. Go ahead
minutes,
and share your screen and let's see.
yes, please. So say please, this what I'm trying to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
what is the just explain what your code is doing to me. Let me see.
So I assigned V to this list, X for X in this range. So
Okay.
this is what I got.
Okay.
And then I used the for loop, which is assigning the prod to a variable. And then for X in the range of the length, this
Yeah.
list that I
So
have stated,
so
it
for
should.
x in the range of the length, this range length v, it will give you a series of numbers, a list of numbers starting from 0 all the way to I think 9 or 8, right?
From 9 to 8.
So, sorry, from 0 to, let me see. So you create a new cell underneath the active cell. Yeah, then type list. into brackets, paste the range thing inside the list function. Yeah, copy your range len v thing inside the, no, it's parenthesis, not square bracket. Yeah. Now copy your, or you can type it here. Mhm. Yeah, run it. Scroll down a bit. Let me see what v is. Print v.
Is
Let
it,
me see.
this
Yeah.
V.
Okay. This is v. So why is it saying tuple is not callable? Mm, oh, run the cell again. Let me see. Run the first one. Yeah. Now run the second one again.
I
Interesting.
think it's the space in the second cell, the range.
Okay. Close the space and let me see. Hmm. No, I'm even thinking about this, and I don't know why I get. So we are trying to find the length of this v. So that
Which
will
is the
give us,
range that
that
was
that
in.
should give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has to give us a number. Then we are trying to find the range of that number, and then we are finding the list of it. So why is it telling us that it's not callable? Okay. So let me show you
So
something
say,
useful.
say please then let me stop sharing.
No,
Or
no, no. It's fine. You click on explain error.
okay.
If you want to allow Gemini, fine. If you don't, you can cancel. Do you want to?
So do I want to allow Gemini to do that for me?
Yes.
So please, how do you do that?
You just cancelled it. You click on explain error and click on continue.
Okay.
Yeah. We are at the end of the class, so you shouldn't be worried. There's nothing else to do anymore.
Yes. So I really want to understand because I
Okay.
realize you could use the for loop for a lot of functions, like
Yes,
a
you
lot
can.
of
Yeah, but what is given us, that's not what we want. You cancel it. Just click on cancel.
functions.
I wish we had time so that you could share your notebook with me so that I can see if I could edit it. But let me retry
So
to.
this notebook it has a lot of codes.
Okay, let me try to redo what you are doing. Let's see. We still have at least.
Yes, please. So please,
20
can I
minutes.
stop
Yeah,
sharing?
you can stop sharing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry. There's one last thing we needed to do. We needed to add the plot function we just did to our script module. So we need to do that before we can do anything else. Is my screen visible?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. So
Oh,
this is the plot we just did, but we need a function so that we can add it to the script module that we have. So let's create a function and then we can just copy and paste it inside. So we'll define the function as prod, and this function will take a list, and then we'll need, I don't want to use the same name, so just say times. So it's got one, and then can say for I in yeah, image of the list that we get, multiply times and then we return the type. So basically, this is the function. We just read this entire thing and into a function. So we can copy this and paste it into our script module. I think I already have that. Oh, okay, I don't have it. So let's add this function to script module and yeah. So that is it. We just added to it. So we'll use it in the next lecture. Okay. Now coming back to your problem. So I think there's v equals x for x in was it range? Yeah, 11 to 30. I think so. Yeah, I think this was it. And then you said prod equals 1, and then for what was it? For x in range of len of v.
Yes. Yes,
Was
please.
was this was it it? This is it, right?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. So let's see.
Ah, say.
I think you should open a new notebook and try using a new notebook to
Oh
write it.
my God.
Please let Steph share her screen again. Let's see.
Yeah, please share your screen and open a new notebook and do the same thing and let me see.
Oh my God. Hmm.
You know, if you've not had this moment when you are programming, then you are not there yet. So the fact that you are experiencing this is a good sign. Okay, no worries. So
Yes,
share your
yes,
screen and let's see.
yes, please. Hmm. So, sir, please, what could be wrong? What
Just
could be?
copy the code and open a new notebook and paste it in it and
Yes,
close
please.
this one so I don't have too
Yes,
many sessions and run it and let's see.
please. Change the movement to save. No, 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 no. Mm, mm.
It's something wrong because I think my screen is frozen.
I'm trying to. I'm coming.
So you click on
Yeah.
okay, you can click on new notebook. Yeah, yeah.
Let me.
I also think that the next cohort I'll make it into just a week because this one is too long. People are not able to follow.
So the same thing.
They are still getting zero.
Yes. Oh, easy.
This is very interesting. Hey, I'm even checking it side by side, and I
Yeah, so say
see.
like I was because of that I was using various ways of like getting it, and it was giving me 18 0. Oh,
Okay,
six.
serious.
I said maybe I'll go through and see what could have been wrong
No,
and
I'm checking the lines one by one, and it's the same thing. I don't get it. Okay, okay, okay. Oh my god.
Say the first line.
So you see that the the line six. Okay,
yes, please.
you are supposed to multiply the value by the value in the list, not the x itself. So you're supposed to index the values in this list. So it's supposed to be v
V
square
of
bracket
X.
x.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, sir. Oh, yes. Yes, please. Oh, thank you very much. I said, please, I won't stop sharing. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So let's see what we have for Thursday.
And sir, aren't you solving the exercise with us?
I think that was the exercise we just solved, or was it not? Yeah.
No, please.
So
Was
write a function and add it
yes,
to.
please. Please.
Is that not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So let me open the 10th lecture. Then after this, we only have two more.
So say, I wanted to ask a question. Suppose you have like you don't you have the list. It's a small list as we did,
Mm,
the 2 3 4,
mm,
and then when you multiply the prod, you multiplied it by the x, not the index.
mm. I don't know what you are saying. Let me see. Um, like this.
No, the first one we did where we did the only for loop, the for x in that list,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then
Let
you
me
did.
open it.
I think the best thing to do is use the index always to be safe.
Oh, God. Mm,
So I was actually looking at my exercise I did, and I was trying to compare it to the work, but I wasn't seeing anything wrong with it. So I was asking myself, yes, sir. So, say the first one you did.
yeah. So that you see that the first one,
Yeah.
the list itself is inside the for loop. It's not outside. So the second one, the list that we want is outside the for loop, and we are using the range as the index to the list. The
So,
first
say
one,
the moment you assign the list to a variable, that is when you use the index.
yes, you use the index.
Okay. Okay.
Don't
Thank you
worry,
very
you'll
much.
get it in time.
Yes, please.
Mm, yeah. So this is um yeah yeah. So we'll be doing this next week. We'll be importing some Excel files and basically applying these functions on the Excel file. Yeah. So we'll get variability and height data from an Excel file, and then we'll use the functions we wrote in the script module to find the average vulnerability of those. Then you have an exercise for finding gas gravity for gas composition. So I will send these data sets into the group before Thursday.
Wow.
Okay, so that is it for today. At least today I've heard um, a different voice today, so that's good. Okay, so I'll see you guys on Thursday, and I will share the exercise 10. I'll just share the rest of the exercise since there are just two more, so I'll just share the rest. Then I'll
Right. Yes, please.
okay. Then see you guys on Thursday.
Yes, but thank you very much, sir.
Sure.